You know, I'm really passionate about making decisions that align with your faith and your values, especially when it comes to your family. And one area where that can feel really challenging right now is healthcare. Costs keep rising, and it's hard to feel confident that you're choosing the right path. That's why I wanted to share something I've been learning about called Liberty Health Share. It's not health insurance. It's a healthcare sharing ministry, which means you're joining a community of believers who come together to help carry one another's medical expenses. It's people living out the idea that we're stronger when we support each other and show up for one another. They offer programs for different stages of life and different budgets. So whether you're newly married, starting a family, or just looking for a better, more aligned approach, it's worth checking out. If you've been praying about a better way to navigate healthcare, this could be something to look into. You can learn more at libertyhealthshare.org. That's libertyhealthshare.org. Liberty Health Share, a force for good.
Good morning and welcome to the Morning Five. I'm Michael Ware, President and CEO of the Center for Christianity and Public Life. Today is Thursday, June 4th. I'll begin with a reading from the 84th Psalm. How lovely is your dwelling place, O Lord of hosts. My soul longs, yes, faints for the courts of the Lord. My heart and flesh sing for joy to the living God. Even the sparrow finds a home, and the swallow a nest for herself, where she may lay her young at your altars, O Lord of hosts, my King and my God. Blessed are those who dwell in your house, ever singing your praise. Blessed are those whose strength is in you, in whose heart are the highways to Zion. As they go through the valley of Baca, they make it a place of springs. The early rain also covers it with pools. They go from strength to strength. Each one appears before God in Zion. May God bless the reading of his word. Friends, so good to be with you today. Let's catch up on the news. First up, hostilities between Iran and the U.S. are at their worst since the start of a ceasefire to make way for negotiations several weeks ago. Yesterday, an Iranian attack on Kuwait, which is an American ally, left one person dead and injured more than 60 other people at Kuwait's international airport. Talks between Iran and the U.S. are still ongoing. Next, the Trump administration announced it will impose tariffs of at least 10% on 59 countries, as well as the European Union. The tariffs are in response to an American investigation that found those countries aren't doing enough to block imports of goods and products made with forced labor. They come after the Supreme Court rejected a different legal vehicle that the president used to slap tariffs on trading partners last year. U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer said in a statement, quote, "The failure of our most important trading partners to address the importation of goods made with forced labor is unacceptable. This creates a dynamic where American workers are forced to compete globally on an unlevel playing field." Next, the House of Representatives adopted a resolution last night to roll back the president's war against Iran, significant for passing in the Republican-held chamber despite President Trump's opposition. Several Republicans joined Democrats to support the resolution, including Brian Fitzpatrick, Tom Barrett, Warren Davidson, and Thomas Massey. Members would need to rally a veto-proof majority to actually be able to halt the war. However, as this would, even if it passed the Senate, would face a veto from the president. Finally, we told you recently that Alabama was seeking to use a redrawn congressional map in the upcoming elections and had asked the Supreme Court to weigh in on the matter. Well, on Tuesday, the Supreme Court approved the state's use of that new map, which eliminates one of Alabama's black majority seats. An unsigned opinion said the state made a strong showing of public interest and cautioned that lower federal courts should not alter the election rules on the eve of an election. Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote a dissenting opinion joined by Elena Kagan and Ketanji Brown Jackson. She said, quote, just as Alabama doubled down on racial discrimination, the court today doubles down on chaos. Because I choose to defend the rule of law and the right of all Alabamians to participate equally in democracy, I respectfully dissent. With that, let's get into today's main story. And as I told you yesterday, we'll focus on Tuesday's primary elections. This week, several states held high-stakes primary elections. In Iowa, Democrats are feeling more optimistic about a challenging fight to win a Senate seat with incumbent Senator Republican Joni Ernst retiring. State Representative Josh Turek won the Democratic Party's primary for the race, the candidate that party leaders preferred. Turek, who was born with spina bifida, is a Paralympic gold medalist, having competed in wheelchair basketball. He's described himself on the campaign trail as a prairie populist, often hitting the administration's trade policies, which have led to tougher markets for American farmers. Congresswoman Ashley Hinson is Republicans' candidate for the seat. The campaign arm for Senate Republicans sees it as a more competitive race than has been typical in Iowa recently, already committing at least $29 million to backing Hinson's campaign. Democrats still face tough odds. The New York Times notes that no Democrat has won the governorship in Iowa since 2006, and none have held a Senate seat there since 2014. All 4 of the state's House seats are held by Republicans. Now in California, officials are still counting votes to learn who will advance to the state's gubernatorial race to succeed Governor Gavin Newsom, who is leaving because he's term limited. 60 candidates were on the ballot. That's a lot. Leading at the time of this recording were former Fox News host Steve Hilton, former HHS Secretary Xavier Becerra, and billionaire Tom Steyer. California's election system is set up to advance the top 2 vote-getters to the general election, regardless of party affiliation. Also in California, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, who's a former House member and a Democrat, is facing 2 challengers, Spencer Pratt, a Republican, who has campaigned against her and significantly criticizing California's fire readiness after losing his home in the Pacific Palisades fire last year. At the time of this recording, Bass had won about 35% of the vote, with Pratt taking 30%. A Democratic challenger, Nithya Raman, had won about 22%. While votes are still being counted, if these percentages remain about the same, Bass and Pratt will be on the ballot again in November to determine who will be the next mayor of Los Angeles. All right, we'll stop there for today, and let's go to the Lord in prayer. Dear Father, always near us, may your name be treasured and loved. May your rule be completed in us. May your will be done here on earth in just the way it is done in heaven. Give us today the things we need today, and forgive us our sins and impositions on you, as we are forgiving all who in any way offend us. Please don't put us through trials, but deliver us from everything bad, because you are the one in charge, and you have all the power, and the glory too is all yours forever, which is just the way we want it. Thank you for joining me today, friends. As always, The Morning Five is brought to you in partnership with the That Sounds Fun Network, supported by the Center for Christianity and Public Life. If you'd like to learn more about our work at CCPL, you can visit ccpubliclife.org. Hope you have a terrific Thursday and a wonderful weekend.